All right, so in the 100-year anniversary Turbo and 2K's NFL all-time draft, on the clock is Mr. 2K's Kyle Kaler. What is your pick? And by the way, folks, we are doing this snake style, kind of like we did the NBA draft. So,
first pick of the Turbo and 2K's all-time NFL draft. I'm staying home in Detroit, and I'm going Mr. Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders, pick number 1.
I was going to have to disown you if you said Matt Stafford.
He said, fuck that up. I'm drafting Matt Patricia, bitches.
That's an all-time great coach. I bet, though, if they had, he could probably be on the all-time coaching staffs of the best eaters in the 100 years, though. I bet he could smash a buffet like it's no one's business.
I bet you Andy Reid would give him a hell of a run for his money.
I'm sure of it. Him and Madden.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Corey, who is your first pick, my friend?
I'm going to go with a quarterback.
Ooh.
And I'm going to go with Joe Montana.
Taking Montana, pick number 2. Well, I get pick 3 and 4. And I kind of like this because I can where am I going with this? Let's go Walter Payton. I'm going to throw you a little curveball. I'm going to go LaDainian Tomlinson.
Ooh. Mr. TD himself. So that takes it up to me, correct, since we're snaking?
Correct.
Well, how about at running back, I will take Mr. Jim Brown.
It's a great pick. I almost went there, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shake things up a little bit. Shake things up.
I'm going running back again, and I'm going Emmitt Smith.
Fucking Cowboys fan.
And
I knew it was coming.
I'm going wide receiver, and I'm going Jerry Rice.
I was hoping Jerry would get back to me, but I knew it wouldn't happen. So, Corey, where are you going with your next pick?
Well, let's see here. A wide receiver. He was probably Rice's, contemporary. I'll take Chris Carter.
Oh, all Chris Carter does is catch touchdowns,
and he just catches the damn ball too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Corey, I'm gonna kind of piggyback on your pick and take someone that played with Mr. Carter. I'm going Randy Moss.
Straight cash, homie.
You got mossed.
Full moon in Green Bay. That's all I remember. Full moon in Green Bay.
And Mr. Joe Buck persecuting him there,
yes.
Right there. He was so upset over that.
The one thing Randy Moss doesn't get credit for, though, is he could have a bitching afro, though.
Yes, he
That was impressive.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
That is phenomenal.
There is not a white guy on earth that can come remotely close to even pulling that off.
Let's see, where do we want to go from here? So many options. Since you took, you know what? Fuck it. Tom Brady.
Ooh.
TB.
TB12.
You guys know my absolute fascination with Mr. Brady. So probably everyone that says I'm a hater, well, there you go. Fuck you. Drafting him anyway.
Pay attention there, guest.
If you think about it, they played together already, so they're going to have...
that connection?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to stick with receivers, and I'm going to stay in the state of Michigan and go Calvin Johnson. I know he did not, make the 100 all-time, but again, I think it was a matter of...
longevity.
Well, yeah, basically. Voters looking at that. If he stayed another 2 years, everyone talks about Randy Moss, and rightfully so, but the thing I think Calvin has over Randy is Calvin could run routes like a small guy.
Yeah.
Is where Randy was just, I'm a freak, I'm going 9, catch me if you can.
Yep. And then throw it high because I could go get that too.
Because I can dunk with the best of them.
Yeah, it's same with Calvin Johnson, though.
Oh, yeah.
They're just two very large men.
235 pounds and you run a 4.3 and you're 6'5", that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That you're legitimately a freak.
I'm taking the first tight end off the board. I'm going Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, you're taking Gronk.
Me Gronk, me spike ball. How I spelled name.
Probably the probably the biggest challenge to defend in all of football. Probably the most difficult matchup, probably of all time.
Hard to argue it. Hard to argue it. And
Yeah.
I'm going over to the defensive side of the ball, and I'm going with another Cowboy. I'm going with Mr. Deion Primetime Sanders.
Prime time. I was when we were going to the card show a couple weeks ago. My girlfriend's son Cameron was with me, and we started talking, and he's putting together, which I haven't played a Madden game in like 10 years.
Sounds about right for me too.
And I guess you can piece together you're all kind of like what we're doing here, and they release players every now and again, and you can buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was talking about Dion this, Dion that, and I was like, you ever watched Dion play? He goes, no, but he's got a 99 or whatever. I said, you want to know a really funny story? He goes, what's that? I said, back when Dion was Dion, Nike made a Dion shoe. I had those motherfuckers. Looking back, those are the ugliest goddamn things. And he was also a rapper because he put out a rap album.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He and MC Hammer.
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous. So, yeah, that was my little Dion story.
So I'm going to go tight end here. And I'm going to go a little old school here. And I'm going to go the coach, Mike Ditka.
Oh.
Only tight end in the Hall of Fame. That was drafted in the top 10.
What was that? Who would win in a fight, Ditka or God?
Ditka, I guess. That's what I heard anyway. I don't know how true that is.
It's a trick question because Ditka is God.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh.
Something to that effect. Effect. I am going... Let's go middle linebacker. Let's go Brian Urlacher. Probably going to regret that pick, but oh well. Oh well. And I'm going to go with my secondary pick, and I'm taking Mr. Ed Reed.
I loved Ed Reed.
Me too.
Sneaky.
Probably one of the hardest hitting free safeties in the history of the game.
Just a ball hawk. I mean,
Yep.
everywhere the ball was, he was.
Yeah, because he would break rule. This is how good of a player he was, though. He would break his rule coverage-wise, but he would study so much tape that he was able to do that. Plus, he had great talent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he could get away with that stuff. There's not too many guys that can do that and be successful.
No, you're very right.
Well, you look at like another guy that was kind of had a similar play style was Palomalo.
Yeah.
But he wasn't as talented as Ed Reed to where he could make he was exposed a lot for some of his. He would make great plays, but he would also get exposed a little bit on defense. You didn't see Ed Reed get exposed.
No.
No, but he made up for it for having great hair.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean,
Yeah, the
head
old
and shoulders parlay. Come on, good marketing there, brother.
Him and Mahomes on that commercial now.
My
Fuck outta
homies.
here. Yeah. Well, up to you, Corey.
Yes. I'm going to go defensive lineman here. There's been some good defensive linemen, obviously, throughout the history of the NFL, but there's no one that really still stands out to me with this guy, and it's Reggie White.
It's always funny to listen to Golick and Wingo and the stories Golick tells about playing right next to Reggie White.
Oh, yeah.
And how he didn't even belong on the same field as Reggie White.
I mean, you have Aaron Donald now, and you've had Warren Sapp, and there's nothing to take away from those guys, but man, when you got to allocate 3, sometimes 4 guys to block 1, it just is crazy. I mean, there was this little blurb that I saw when I was kind of doing a little bit of research for the show, and
Show off.
Jeff Fisher was talking because at that time he was coaching in Philadelphia, and they were doing a joint practice, ironically, with the Lions, and the linemen were doing one-on-one pass block drills, and Reggie came up, and he was taking on the Lions tackle. Have no idea who it was, but it's a moot point. He whipped him pretty bad, got to the quarterback. I mean, it was over in 2.2 seconds. As the story goes, Jeff Fisher said the guy was just cussing him out. Blah, 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 blah. And he walked by and, he said, "What'd you say?" And he got cussed out again. And he goes, "Jesus is coming." So they line back up and get around again. And those two come back up again, and Reggie bull rushes him, as the story was told, and hip tosses the guy, just like throws him forever. And again, the guy's all PO'd, this, that, or the other. He's laying on his back at this point, and Reggie walks over to him, as the story goes still, and reaches his hand down, pulls him up, and goes, "God's here."
I love it. Well, 2Ks, give us one of your picks, then let's do a recap for everybody.
All right, I'm going to go defense side of the ball also, and I'm going to go linebacker and go Lawrence Taylor.
LT.
Oh, yeah.
LT had to change. The man changed football.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
And cocaine dealers' lives.
Which brings me to my next point.
Don't
do smoke
drugs.
crack. Or whatever that line was in Waterboy.
Don't do drugs.
All right, so where we sit right now, both you two have quarterbacks. Corey, you have Montana. Turbo has Tom Brady. 2K is still not taking a quarterback yet. I think I'm going to hold off now on that. Running backs, 2K's has Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith. Corey has Jim Brown right now. Turbo has Walter Payton and LaDainian Tomlinson. Wide receivers, I have Jerry Rice. Corey has Chris Carter and Kelvin Johnson. Turbo has Randy Moss. Tight end, I have Gronk. Corey has Mike Ditka. D-line, only D-line taken so far has been Corey with Reggie White. Linebackers, I have Lawrence Taylor and Turbo has Brian Urlacher. And then defensive backs, I have Deion Sanders and Turbo has Mr. Ed Reed.
Love it. Love it. And what's your second pick over there, 2K?
So I think since you guys have already taken the quarterbacks, I'm going to hold off on my quarterback, but I'm going to take his number one wide receiver that he had in his career, and I'm going to take Marvin Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
I think we know where he's going with his quarterback.
I think so, yeah. I do believe.
And yeah, Marvin Harrison's single season reception record was just broken by Michael Thomas. So that's very legit. There's only two people in the world that have caught that many balls in a season. So
That's just crazy.
yeah, yeah.
And Michael, really Michael Thomas could be in this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Michael Thomas was somebody that I really thought about,
because his catch rate was ridiculous. I don't think he dropped maybe one or two balls all year, if that.
I think someone said he dropped 3 total balls all year, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Okay, so I'll go with secondary here. And he kind of revolutionized the way safeties play to where Polamalu and Reed could go. And I'm going to go with Ronnie Lott.
Oh, I actually have a signed Ronnie Lott card.
You dog you.
Yeah. It's the only I collected cards forever, and it's the only autograph card I've ever pulled, which is kind of cool. And I was telling that story to Cameron, and he's like, "Who's Ronnie Lott?" Oh man, we got some work to do here.
Google it, buddy.
Yeah. There we go. I'm trying to find the game here, guys. All right, so it's up to me now.
Yeah, and right now you need a wide receiver, flex, D-line, and a coach.
We did coach in there?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that. Okay, let me think. Where are we going to go with this one? There's too many good guys to choose.
Oh, also tight end, based on that.
Well, you guys both have your tight end, so I don't... Well, you guys could play it as a flex if you wanted to.
You wanted to, yeah.
Let's go... I'm going to go wide receiver, and I'm going to steal him from 2Ks. Michael Irvin. Going with the playmaker.
Mr. Miami U himself.
Yeah. Man, there's another like cocaine reference right there.
Yeah.
I mean, is that part of being a great NFL player?
Well, I hear it helps you stay focused, I guess.
Is that what it is?
May not be good for the nasal canal, but hey, who's keeping track?
Speaking of Michael Irvin, you've heard the story about him coming back to the Hall of Fame and had no idea where his bust was because he was high as fuck when he got put in there. He had to go ask someone where his bust was. So yeah.
Old habits die hard sometimes, I guess.
I guess so. Let's go. shit. So I've got my 2 receivers now, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I am gonna go. Let's go flex on this one. Going crazy. Adrian Peterson. AP all day.
AP.
Could you imagine what Tom Brady could do with a back like that in his prime? It'd be crazy. Crazy. I mean, Brady won all these Super Bowls without a dominant running back ever.
I know.
Ever. And barely any, he had Randy Moss for, 2 or 3 years. And that's the only, and then Gronk. That's it.
Yeah, a couple of really good slot receivers.
Little white guys run around.
They're wiry.
They're wiry.
Let's see. I still have a running back left, and I'm going to go Marshall Faulk with my second.
I was going back and forth with AP and him.
I might surprise you with the flex.
Uh-oh.
All right, I'm going to go with my flex also, and I'm going to go with a running back in that slot also and go Eric Dickerson.
I like it. Now, is that Eric Dickerson with the sports goggles? And the neck roll? Because if so, that's fucking amazing. I love it.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
And then I'm also going to go D-line, and I'm going to go with I'm going to go Mean Joe Green.
There you
Good
go.
pick. Where the fuck's my phone?
Okay, so I still need a flex and a backer. I'm going to go flex, as I said, and I'm going to go Thurman Thomas.
Ooh, I like it.
Googling defensive lineman.
Yes, I am. I sure am.
You're
Not the all-time NBA defensive team. Stupid Google.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bruce Bowen. All right. What other ones do I have left?
You got defensive lineman, tight end, and a coach.
All right. Well, let's get the tight end out of the way since you guys already have yours. I am going to go Tony Gonzalez.
He does look good on TV.
Yeah, this is horrible. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
And Ndamukong Suh.
That's not it. No. That's not it. And since I can't think of anything right off the top of the dome, I'm going to go coach. And the coach that's going to lead these fine group is... Man, I got 2 of them, and which way do I want to go? Well, let's stick with Belichick. I've got Brady.
Mm-hmm.
If I want this team to succeed, we need both of them, right?
There you go.
We need both of them.
Okay, so I need a linebacker, and I'm going to go with number 52, Ray Lewis.
It's not a bad pick at all.
Nope. And I'm going to go with my quarterback now, and I'm going to go with Peyton Manning.
Oh, shit, I can't believe I couldn't think of this fucking guy. I'm a moron.
And to final out my draft, after taking Peyton Manning, I'm going to take Tony Dungy as my coach.
Not a bad pair there either. Not a bad... It would have been interesting to see if, obviously injuries... barring injury, how much better, or what the outcome would be if Tony Dungy coached Peyton Manning his whole career. Those two worked so well together, and it was obviously we saw it in Denver. It took a lot of time for everyone to get on the same page, but when they did, Peyton wasn't Peyton as far as arm strength and stuff like that. It was still dissecting every fucking defense like he always does.
Yeah.
But I those two, could be closer to that Brady Belichick relationship if, like I said, injuries weren't a thing. Of course,
If it would have happened and Tony didn't decide to step down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look what he did for Tampa Bay. I mean, I know Gruden gets the credit, but
yeah,
he built that team.
yeah, that was his team. Gruden just drove the car.
Exactly. Brand new car, and I get the keys to it. So I just have coach right. Is that right,
Yep.
Kyle?
Yep.
I've got his quarterback, so I'm going Bill Walsh.
Right. All right. To round mine out, I can't believe I couldn't. I'm going Warren Sapp.
There we go.
Warren Sapp. I don't know what my brain block was on that. Give everyone that's it, right?
Yep.
Our draft is complete, and 2K crew, like we did last time, I'll post everyone's team. We'll get a vote going, and I probably should have drafted Michael Jordan, so I knew I'd win.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's what I was just going to say. Like that we figured out in the NBA one. That is, if you drafted Michael Jordan, you automatically won. Like he could beat everybody.
Yeah, and we also like to make fun of it because Christian's the one who drafted him, and we all know we just like to make fun of Christian.
Well, I know we're talking football right now, but to piggyback off of that, just think, as good as Michael Jordan is, and I consider him the best, but you look at that time in the 80s. I mean, you had Houston had a couple runs. You had L.A., obviously, Boston. The East was a bear back then. I mean, he couldn't get through the Pistons, as we know. It took him 3 years before he could do that. And, I mean, even his own division, you had the Bucks were solid. The Cavs were solid. I mean, he's finishing fourth, in his own division at times and making the playoffs as a fifth, sixth, seventh seed, and people kind of gloss over that fact that Michael Jordan didn't just come out and became Michael Jordan, the guy that's going to rip your heart out and win almost, 6 of 8. But, he had to pay his dues before he got there. So
Absolutely. And when he came in the league, he wasn't a great shooter either.
No.
That's something he developed over time.
Well, just look at the end of his career. I mean, he wasn't driving and dunking anymore. He kind of lost that explosion, but he had that low post game, that fadeaway jumper. He had that turnaround jumper.
That's where Kobe got it from.
Forget it.
That's where Kobe got it from.
Kobe.
Kobe. So give everyone a recap. There are 2Ks.
Okay, so 2K's team. I had Peyton Manning as my quarterback, Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith as my 2 running backs, Jerry Rice and Marvin Harrison as my wide receivers, Eric Dickerson in the flex, Rob Gronkowski as a tight end, Mean Joe Green on the D-line, Lawrence Taylor as my linebacker, primetime Deion Sanders as my defensive back, and Tony Dungy as the coach.
2Ks might have the 2 best route runners in the history of the NFL.
Well, he's probably, arguably, has one of the best defensive player.
Yeah.
And then Corey has Mr. Joe Montana as his quarterback, Jim Brown, Marshall Faulk as his running backs, Chris Carter and Kelvin Johnson, wide receiver, Thurman Thomas as his flex, Mike Ditka as his tight end, Reggie White as his defensive lineman, Ray Lewis, linebacker, Ronnie Lott, defensive back, Mr. Bill Walsh coaching that team.
Very nice.
And Turbo had Tom Brady as his quarterback, Walter Payton at running back, LT LaDainian Thompson running back, 2 wide receivers were Randy Moss and Michael Irvin. Flex was Adrian Peterson, tight end Tony Gonzalez, defensive line Warren Sapp, linebacker Brian Urlacher, defensive back Ed Reed, and that team is coached by Bill Belichick.
God, that team's a beast.
I'll tell you what, Turbo, your backfield there is going to catch a lot of balls.
Yes, they are.
Those guys got good hands between the 2 of them, man.
Yeah, and Brady likes to throw the backs too, so it'll all work out. It'll all work out.